Good evening, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, evening headlines on December 5, 2023. Nepal calls on Russia not to deploy its Gurkhas in Ukraine war. The Independent, 6 Nepalese killed fighting for Russia against Ukraine, says government, seeks compensation for victims' kin. WION, 6 Nepalese killed fighting for Russia, 1 captured in Ukraine. The Moscow Times, Nepal urges Russia not to recruit its citizens into army, says 6 killed. Reuters, 6 Nepalese killed fighting for Russian army against Ukraine, government. A matter of survival, India's unstoppable need for air conditioners. Irish referendums on gender and family to be in March. COP28 pledge to curb cooling emissions backed by 63 countries. Reuters, watch again, UN launches pledge to cut cooling-related emissions at COP28 climate summit. The Independent, COP28, over 60 countries pledge to slash cooling emissions amid rising temperatures. UN News, air conditioning companies' sustainable designs face high costs. Reuters, watch live as global cooling pledge discussed at COP28. Global carbon emissions from fossil fuels to hit record high. The Guardian, global carbon emissions from fossil fuels to hit record this year. Financial Times, world carbon dioxide emissions increase again, driven by China, India and aviation. The Independent, world on track to exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius consistently in 7 years, global carbon budget shows. Euronews, carbon emissions at record high despite pledges. Will Israel use seawater to flood the labyrinth of tunnels beneath Gaza? Sky News, Israel could destroy Hamas tunnels with flood of seawater. The Telegraph, Israel to drown Hamas militants in Gaza tunnels, alerts Team Biden of dangerous plan, report. Hindustan Times, Israel said to set up pumps in Gaza for flooding Hamas tunnels with seawater. The Times of Israel, Israel may flood Hamas tunnels in Gaza with seawater using pumps, WSJ. E-cigarettes, France backs bill to ban disposable vapes. BBC, French Parliament backs proposal to ban vapes. The Guardian, France moves to ban ridiculously cheap and sugary disposable e-cigarettes. The Local France, bill to ban disposable e-cigarettes in France approved. Hampstead Highgate Express, France's parliament considers a ban on single-use e-cigarettes. Nigerian army drone strike accident kills at least 85 civilians. The Guardian, Nigeria airstrike mistakenly kills worshippers at religious festival. BBC, dozens killed after Nigerian army drone strike hits villages, France 24 English. France 24 English, Nigeria, at least 85 people killed in mistaken army drone attack. Sky News, Nigerian army drone strike accident kills at least 85 civilians, army takes responsibility, WION. Serial killer's ex-wife Monique Olivier sorry for student's murder. BBC, widow of Ogre of Ardennes was active participant in all his crimes, says murdered Britain's father. The Telegraph, Joanna Parish murder, parents believe his wife helped him trap her. The Times, Joanna Parish's parents to speak at Monique Olivier trial. House explodes in Virginia as police surround armed suspect inside. Sky News, home near Washington, D.C. explodes as police surround armed suspect. BBC, Arlington explosion, massive blast blows up house in Virginia. The Telegraph, Virginia, Arlington home explodes into gigantic fireball. Metro.co.uk, cause sort of explosion that leveled an Arlington, Virginia, home as police tried to serve warrant. COP28, anger after record number of fossil fuel lobbyists given access to summit, as it happened. The Guardian, COP28, record number of fossil fuel delegates at climate talks. BBC, record number of fossil fuel delegates at COP28 in UAE, say campaigners. The Telegraph, record number of fossil fuel lobbyists get access to COP28 climate talks. The Guardian, anger at record number of fossil fuel attendees at COP28, dining with the devil. Fossil fuel phase-out among options on COP28 table. Reuters, COP28 president hits back after outcry over remarks on fossil fuels. Guardian News, Emirati oil barons make net zero a pipe dream. The Times, a clash at COP28. The Telegraph, COP28. Push for fossil fuel phase-out continues as latest draft text emerges. Munich Airport reopens, but flights heavily restricted after freezing rain hits Germany. Sky News. Flights grounded and trains cancelled in Germany as freezing weather hits Europe. It happened. The Guardian. Flights between Munich and Manchester cancelled as heavy snow causes travel chaos in Germany. Manchester Evening News. Munich Airport urges passengers to check for possible cancellation of their flight due to extreme weather. SchengenVisaInfo.com. German travel chaos blamed on lack of investment in railways. Cyclone Michaung. Heavy rains in southern India as storm makes landfall. BBC. Cyclone Michaung hits India's southern states as 9 dead in major flooding. The Independent. Cyclone Michaung's landfall has been completed, and the death toll has risen to 17 IWION originals. WION. Cyclone Michaung makes landfall in India's south, 9 killed in floods. Al Jazeera English. Cyclone Michaung. DMK MPs demand 5,000 crore rupees interim relief for TN from centre. Mount Marapi. Indonesia volcano death toll rises to 22. BBC. Indonesia. Mount Marapi erupts, killing 11 climbers. Guardian News. Indonesia. Marapi volcano death toll rises to 22. DW. English. Bodies of climbers killed in Indonesia eruption recovered. Reuters. More bodies found as 23 feared dead after Indonesia volcano eruption. Boston woman killed shark attack while paddleboarding in Bahamas, police say. The Independent. U.S. paddleboarder dies after shark attack in the Bahamas. Sky News. U.S. woman killed by shark while paddleboarding in Bahamas. BBC. Shark attack in Bahamas kills Boston woman, as she paddleboarded. The Boston Globe. Newlywed bride killed by shark while paddleboarding in the Bahamas. Charles, or skin rash. Maori MPs oath of allegiance to King sparks translation debate. The Guardian. New Zealand. Thousands march against new government's reversal of indigenous policies. BBC. Maori MPs call Charles King skin rash at opening of Parliament. The Telegraph. New Zealand politician performs haka before making oath to King Charles in Parliament. The Independent. Maori MPs appear to call King a scab in New Zealand Parliament. YouTuber Trevor Jacob jailed after crashing plane for views. BBC. YouTuber jailed after staging plane crash in California to make video. The Guardian. California YouTuber Trevor Jacob jailed for 6 months after deliberately crashing plane for video. Sky News. YouTuber who crashed plane for views jailed for 6 months. The Telegraph. US YouTuber jailed after deliberately crashing plane for views. ITV News. Israel-Hamas war live. Israeli armed forces, in the heart of Khan Younis, says IDF. The Guardian. Israel intensifies strikes on Gaza's second-largest city. Al Jazeera English. Israeli forces in most intense day of ground war as it enters Hamas strongholds. Financial Times. The Guardian view on Gaza's devastation. Don't look away. See the bigger picture too. The Guardian. IDF says troops encircling Gaza's Jabalia have raided Hamas General Security HQ. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.